Alright everyone, I'm back for another devlog for my game Orion's Gate. Yeah. If you saw the last one, which was spectacularly long, which I didn't really want to make an hour, but there was so much stuff I had to show, so yeah, I kind of probably overdid it a bit there. But anyways, the point is that the engine is running, and like when you watched the video last time, I kind of showed what kind of commands you have to use in order to use the engine that I'm going to make commercially available. And there's also going to be a free version, just for your information. Yeah. So last time I kind of showed you what the engine can do at this point, which is not really much, but it is working. And you can see here that the engine is rendering shadows in real time. Yeah, and you can also change the shadow quality setting any way you like. Yeah. There's another setting that's not available right now. It's a 1024 shadow map, but this is only 1440 by 900. So shadows of that quality are not available right now. But yeah, you get the idea. Yeah. There's no anti-aliasing yet. Um, I'm working on that. I just didn't have time to implement it. It's still jaggy, as you can see, but that wasn't the priority right now. What I've been busy doing in the last few weeks is to implement something more of a human nature kind of thing. And in a game, and this is really crazy, um, you may have the idea that you actually want people to read what's going on. Yeah. So and in order to make people read what's going on, uh, you need to be able to display text. Yeah. Uh, this is completely crazy, but yeah, you need to do this. Um, and there's a new command for this. We can now display any font we like in any shape or form. We can load any font that was created before. I show you how it's done. Um, but yeah, so there's no problem in doing this, and there's a new call in order to load a font, and that font is called rn load font. I'm gonna explain what's what so that you know. So rn load font, yeah. And you want to name the font much like in the way it is working with the entities or models, lights, whatever. And we're gonna call it what are we calling this? Um, just demo font. I think that's good. And the folder is also called demo font. Like it, you only need to specify the folder, like absolute or relative to where the application is lying or located on your drive. Yeah. Um, and there's a folder here. It's called demo font, and inside that folder there is a CSV, and you will see a lot of smaller images, and there's one big image which is called a demo font as well, and it's a 512 by 512. I'm not sure if you can actually see that or if that makes sense to you, but it's a transparent image that has all the characters, and my engine sort of like goes in and looks if these smaller images exist, and if they don't, the engine will sort of chop the bigger one into smaller ones and create small images for each character. So I think letter A is character 65. It starts at sort of the actual ASCII definition, yeah, so space is character 32 and so on and so forth, yeah. So that's what it does, and we have little images here that are converted into textures onto your graphic card, so we can make rendering of fonts real quick, yeah. I'm gonna show you how to create fonts in a minute, but yeah, so this is what you have to do, rn load font, in order to load the font into memory, yeah. Now, you can see here I'm rotating the model. I just put that in. Uh, if you want to render a font, it's really important that you do it after you render the world. Yeah. So there's rn render here, which and renders effectively the entire scenery. And now, if you want to render a font or draw some text on the screen, it's like rn uh, draw text, yeah, and you will have to provide the text string you want to display, yeah. this is a font demonstration. Yeah, you want to define the name of the font that you loaded, demo font in this case, and you also want to define where on the screen you want to see the text. Yeah, so let's say 10, and we want to display it from the top. Yeah, from the top left corner. So in this case, it starts at the bottom left, like OpenGL coordinate system, and if you want to invert, you do RT display height. I have to change the variables. RT is still from Reticulum when it was called Reticulum engine. Yeah. Display height minus this font is I think 12 or 16. So let's say 25. And that's pretty much it. Um, you can if you prefer to start from the bottom left, that's fine too. And if you now do this, you will see that on the screen up there. Oh, it's a bit bad. We should probably uh, maybe go a bit lower, say 40. Um, yeah, to actually display the font correctly. But you can see that. See, there it is. There, top left corner. See, I can make it a bit more visible to you, I guess, if I zoom in on the terrain. And let's see here. So there you go. There's the font up there. Really cool, huh? And this is hardware accelerated. There's like this is a texture or like small textures that are arranged in a two-dimensional grid. Um, you the default color of a font is white, yeah, but you can go in and sort of rn set font color. You will have to say which font you want to change, in this case demo font, and if you want it to be yellow, that would be red 255, green 255, and blue nothing. So rn set font color, and this will result in a yellow font. See, it's I have to, yeah. See, it's yellow up there. Uh, Another cool thing, or yeah, there's a bug here with a, I don't know, like why that happens, but yeah, I have to work on it. Yeah, but the point is that you can define any color you like. You can also go in and enable a font shadow. Yeah, so if you, I sometimes have to switch between the actual code and set rn enable font shadow. Yeah, there's a new call. It's called rn enable oops enable font shadow, and you want to define the name of the font again, which is demo font, and you want to say true, because you want to enable the font shadow, and it defaults to an offset of 1 by 1. Yeah, so that means that the font sort of is offset by 1 pixel horizontally and vertically. Yeah, so if you do this, and the default color is black, obviously. Yeah, so if you do this, you will see that there's a font up there, that the font now has a shadow. That it's black, as you can see, obviously. You can't see it so much now, but now you can. Um, you can also define the offset of a shadow. You can define the transparency of a shadow. Yeah, so if I say rn set font shadow offsets of the demo font, demo font, and you want to have it at 5 by 5, it will now render the shadow at that offset. Yeah, see up there. Or you can go something like 2 and 5, which could also make for relatively interesting effects. See, now this happens. Yeah, so you that's that, and you can also go rn set font shadow transparency. That's demo font, and you want to sort of define the value, say 128. that would make it 50% visible. So let's see, if you run this, there still is a shadow, but it's not kind of, it's not as uh, offensive as it was before. Yeah, so you can sort of go crazy with this, and you can also like set font um, set font transparency. Like if you only want to sort of, you know, make a font more transparent, uh, you can also do this, say 80. Yeah, let's disable the font here so you can see, sorry, the shadow. And that, like an RN set font transparency, that will sort of uh, make it. It's still there, but also it isn't. Like you could use this for um, things that are disabled or whatnot. I don't know, but it's good to have these kind of things. You can also use this for loops, where you sort of fade out the font. Yeah. Um, it's kind of fun to play around with it, but that's not everything. Obviously, I haven't been busy for 3 weeks implementing fonts. Um, I cheers. Um, the real beef is coming up now in a second, but I want to show you how the font is made. Yeah, so there's a little tool which is free. It's called Codehead's Bitmap Font Creator. I use this tool to make the font. Yeah, so the font I'm using in the game itself generally is called Aller or Eller. I'm not sure. So you can see it here, Aller. It's a relatively nice font, and you have to set this to 512 by 512, and the cell size, ideally you leave it. Anti-aliasing, you set it to clear type. It will sort of make it look really smooth. You can see these are the cells of the font. You can define the font size, say 16 for example. Um, you have to switch the fields in order to make it active. You can also say bold, yeah, or italic, yeah. Um, Now in the moment the disadvantage is that you have to do this for each and every kind of font type, yeah. So if you have a regular font, you have to create one of those. Yeah, if you want to have it bold, you have to make another folder. And the way you have to do it is export font data CSV, and you go into like developer reason demo, um, new folder, another font, or whatever you want to call it, and you have to name it the same way you named the folder, so another font.csv. Export complete. You also have to say for some reason there's no way to save this as PNG, which is weird. So you just save it as new font.tga, which will make it transparent automatically. And right now you have to use a tool to sort of convert it to PNG. You can do that in any way you like. I'm using a GIMP for that, so there you go. It's transparent, you can see it here. Save as. You just change the extension PNG. Save, and that's it. Right. So you now have a PNG of the font. You can delete the TGA file, primarily for the reason that it would be annoyingly huge. Like the TGA file is a megabyte, so you can delete this. Sorry, this is actually called another font, not new font. So it's important that the names of these files match the folder they reside in. Yeah, so if you were to say this is called another font now, another font, and what happens now is that we're loading this, and we'll create images. Yeah, so it loaded that, and it will sort of create the smaller images and keep them there. Yeah, it's important that you just leave them the way they are, because that's required. Yeah, but that's kind of how the font engine works in the moment. Yeah, so that's how fonts work in the end, and I hope that's simple enough. for the moment. I'm gonna have to provide some way to kind of um, make this a bit easier, but yeah, you get the point. So next up is something I've been really waiting for to show you, because that little something is quite something. So here we go. And now it is important to understand that you have to have some form of user interface in a game. Yeah, um, and you can achieve this in any way you like, and I chose to go with a two-dimensional approach because that is probably the way it's gonna work in the game. There's a lot of information being displayed at some point, and you have to manage this information somehow, and I thought using a two-dimensional window approach is probably the best way to do it, because it kind of gives you flexibility to arrange your interactivity with the game world in any way you like. Yeah. Um, and I'm calling I made an attempt a long time ago which failed in Blitzmax, but I kept the name though, and I'm calling this Yui. um, it's a reversive acronym for Yui User Interface. Yeah, and it's named after Yui Hirasawa from the anime Kion that I liked so very much. If you haven't seen it, and if you're into anime, Kion has 2 seasons, and it's definitely a show that you shouldn't miss. Yeah, let's put it that way. I also have a Yui Hirasawa figurine here in my shelf, in which he is sort of playing with a guitar, which is a really cute figurine. I got that from my trip to Tokyo. But the point is that the UI is called a Yui, and I'd love to show that to you right now. Okay, so enough talking. Let's get down to business. And there's obviously a call to do this, and it's highly customizable in so many ways. Yui is highly flexible, customizable. I Where do I start? I think I'm gonna start with the command to load the team. Yeah, and it's rn for reason. Load. I have to check now real quick. No, it's not rn. 1 second here. I have to. I may have to switch between this. And there is yeah, it's not rn, it's Yui. So you have to. It's Yui init Yui with theme. Yeah. So and you only have to provide the folder where the theme is residing. And I think I called it demo theme. I have to check real quick. Yeah, it's called demo theme. So you go and do demo theme. Yeah. And that's pretty much it. There's not much else to do. It will kind of load everything into memory from that folder. Yeah. So before I show you a little bit of that demo theme, so we have images here, and that you can customize, which I'm going to show you later. So this is kind of the call Yui init Yui with theme. So if you do this, that's it. That's one line you have to do, and it will sort of do everything you need in order to being able to display theme. It won't do much yet, because you just loaded the theme, but you know, what now? Like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? Yeah. So it's best that if we remove the draw text. In order to display the user interface, you will have to use another call that ideally is placed after you render the world, and that's called rn render Yui. That's it. There's not much else to do other than that. So that's 2 lines, and you have your theme, you have your user interface, and if you do this, like you will see that you kind of have a bar on top here, You can customize these images here. I'm going to explain to you what these do in a moment. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. And there's your and the bar's transparent. So if you see, it's kind of see. Maybe you can see it now with the cube. Uh, yeah, but that's pretty much it. So your user interface is already being rendered, right? Um, but now, um, like that's cool. But what can you do with that? Like you can actually display windows, yeah. Well, not the windows, but you know, windows to display content. I'm going to cheat because I'm going to copy code from my other test environment, and we're gonna uncomment this. I'm going to run. Oops, no, Control Shift M. I'm going to run through the simple uh, commands to explain to you what does what. So Yui create window should be fairly obvious. You have to provide a name, much like anything else in my engine. A name for the window, the title string for the window, which is here, like what is appearing in the title bar, like it says reason demo.bmx here. It's pretty much the same thing. The coordinates where you want to display the window and width and height of the window. Uh, Yui center window is clear. So it centers the window on the screen. Yeah, you have to provide the name which window should be centered. Yui set window is maximizable. Can a window be maximized? Like this is restored and this is maximized. So can that be done with the window? And the answer is true in this case. So yes, it can do it. By default, it doesn't. The Yui set window is iconifiable. You may wonder about what iconifiable is, but I'm going to show that to you in a second. Name is test window and it's true. Yui set window has menu shelf. I'm going to remove this because that feature is not yet implemented. So we're going to remove this. But just keep the name menu shelf in mind. That's it. And there is something here. It's called Yui set window iconifier icon. You have to provide the name for the window and the graphic that you want to be representative of that window. And I have to sort of copy that real quick from here. It's called icontile.png. I should actually prepare these videos better. So yeah, that's fail. Recent demo. We're gonna put that file here. So it's so that you can see what it is. Just a simple window graphic. It's nothing fancy. It's going like when you do this, it's going to be translated into a texture that we display. No, sorry, this one here. That we display on top of the iconification mechanism. Is that even a word? Yeah, but that's that, and we're creating a second window here. A new window, another window is the title string, yeah, and pretty much the same coordinates, same icon window, and Yui set window title is another call you can use in order to change the window title to anything you like. Maybe something in your environment has changed and you want to display a different string in the window. You can do that. Right, so that's that, and if you do this, you will see that we have two windows. See, there we go, there we are, and we can move these windows around in any way we like. It's a bit slow maybe right now because I'm also recording, so that may actually slow down performance. It's actually quite fluid in a normal environment. And you see you have a little taskbar up here, sort of, with which you can switch windows. See, like that. Now this one only uses the defaults. It can only be minimized and closed. And this one has minimized, maximized, and closed. So obviously maximization is working. See, and you can switch like this. Restore is working like this. Also, it won't Windows won't cover the bar. you might try, but it will not work. See, boom, boom. You can't. Now, the one thing I had this idea for another software project I've been working on for quite a long time, um, and I failed, but the idea still remained, and the idea is that I think that in Windows you kind of have icons on the bottom here that are representative for an action of the or that is an icon should be representative of what the associated program is doing. Yeah, but sometimes I think it can be confusing because like there are icons here, but they are not actually running. So for the uninitiated, it's the same. Like why do you have some icons boxes around them and why and some don't? Why? Like that's not entirely clear. And I think I figured out a different way to do it, and this is going to be a big hit in the game, I think. So the way it works is that you can iconify a window here with this, and you press this, and what happens is that you get what I would like to call the tile. And you can see the same image on the bottom there that we loaded as a representative icon for the window. Yeah, and the tile can also be freely moved on your screen, effectively making your entire screen a taskbar. Yeah, I'm going to explain some of the icons right now. I think the only option that I didn't implement is close, which is here. For a certain reason I can't tell yet. I didn't implement that, but restore is working, so this green button will do this. See, it will also remember the position of the tiles, so you do this, and it will remain at that particular location. And you may wonder what all the other buttons are doing, and I'm going to explain three of them to you right now. I would like to call this feature TileCling. Yeah. So you can, like, for example, if you press this, it will turn pink, and it will sort of, like, when you click on it, it will cling to the top. Yeah. So you can move it, but it will stay on the top. Yeah. You can arrange that any way you like, or sort of same thing with the left. It will just cling to the left. See, like this. Oops. Yeah, I clicked the top there, and cling to bottom. Yeah, so it will just move to the bottom, and you can, do this. The fourth button on the right side here is release cling. So if I press this, it will turn pink, and I'm once again able to go back into free move mode, maybe, as such. Yeah, but yeah, so that's pretty much one way to organize your windows. And you can also switch windows like this. I showed that here. Yeah. So, and if something is iconified, you've seen this. I switch here. This is now the active window. I click here, and it will restore, much in the same way that that Windows is doing, right? So that's that. If I close this here, it will like just do this, and this is the only remaining active window, and it will kind of do the same. You can obviously load any graphic you like here, as long as the image is smaller than the actual tile. Yeah. If I remove this, you just don't have any windows. That's it. Now the way the theme works is that there's a theme file here, and you can define the name, the gradients of the taskbar, the strip border color. Like a strip is what I would like to call the taskbar on the top. You can define the transparency. You can define colors here, the height of the strip. You can define the window colors, window gradients, inactive colors, transparency, title bar height, the alignment of the window title, like left, centered, or right, and so on and so forth. This is the size for the tile, and so on and so forth. It's relatively straightforward with this text file. There's nothing special to it. And Another thing I want to show you, and now it becomes relatively interesting, because that wasn't everything that I implemented. Um, yeah, so I'm going to copy a little code from my other environment here, which will create 10 windows at random. So we're going to remove this, and we're going to put these here. It's running through loop, and we'll just create 10 windows at random somewhere on the screen. I don't know myself what's happening. The result is always different, but it takes a while, and now we have a real clusterfuck of windows here, as you can see. It's but the taskbar is working, and also shortens the buttons if need be. Yeah. So in a game of the scale like Orion's Gate, like what I'm trying to achieve, it is very possible that you will have a lot of windows. Yeah. So like for example, there's a unit that you want to load something into, and like into its cargo. Yeah. And you're near a base, and you want to kind of drag something out of your warehouse and drag it into that particular unit's cargo holds. Um, and then you have another window maybe with your trades, your markets, and all this kind of stuff. So you can see where this is going. This is going to be relatively messy in in a way, and you could obviously do this with like move them around with any kind of window, and arrange them as long as you like, until you reach a way that's suitable to you. Yeah. So okay, maybe on the top you have all your markets, and then on the side you have your warehouse. Yeah. And on the bottom you may have your chat window or something like that. You could arrange it in that sort of way if that's what you want to do, but I don't think that's enough. I think there should be a little bit more features into the whole thing, and I took some ideas. I was inspired by some of the ideas that are out there already, but I think it might be cool to implement those in my game in order to organize a bit better, and to have a little bit of better interaction with the game world. Yeah. And I'd like to call the feature Reveal. Yeah. You should remember that name, Reveal. Yeah. Um, it like if you are a Mac user, you are already familiar with this, and that's a feature I always liked, and I sort of implemented that. Some of you may know this feature as expose. Yeah. Um, and the key shortcut is obviously the same as on the Mac. So or as it, I think I'm not sure if it's the same as in Lion or Mountain Lion, but at least on until Snow Leopard it was F9. So if you do this, you get a little overview of your windows, and it's live scaling. Yeah. So I implemented a way where sort of the windows scale live. All the contents of the windows would be sort of squished down as the windows are arranged in the grid. So if things were to change, like your chat box or something has changed in your cargo hold or whatever, all these changes would be reflected live. Um, in this overview, much like it is in the way with like these little things here. Yeah, they are also rendered live. I'm not sure how Windows does it, because I'm not sure they're doing a read pixels or whatever. But well, the point is that these windows are scaled live, and you can see that like a solution that you're familiar with, it will display the window title, and you can pick a window that you like, and that's that. It will come to the foreground, and that's that. That's like one way to sort of organize yourself, and you will do this, and you know, it will not display iconified windows. I have to work on that, but if you do this, it will restore the window. I think it did. Yeah, it did. Yeah, but you get the idea. Yeah, so you do this, and uh, yeah, the windows are presented to you in a grid. Now if I were to, like, just to show that to you, that the scale is variable, so if I were to, the program's running, I have to cancel that. If I were to change this to 9, it will pick the next best highest number to create a grid. So if I only have 9 windows, see, only window 9, it will sort of, you see, they are bigger, and I only have 9 to choose from. So see, yeah. So that's already working, and a shortcut here is this one. So I put that in the taskbar, so you it doesn't do the animation like here. It just whoops, hello, yeah, it just does this, and boom, there you go. See, it is that simple, and that's one way to organize your yeah, interaction with the game world. But I don't think that's enough. I think that's cool, but I don't think that's enough. I think we want a little bit more, right? So I was always a very how should I say this? There is a feature out there in on the Mac and on some other Linux distributions that made my life on the machine a lot easier, and it made it possible for me to arrange my stuff in a way that I really liked. Yeah, I could define where I sort of put windows in a how do I say this without giving anything away? Sort of there is a feature that sort of expands your screen to 4 times, 9 times, or 16 times as much as what you actually see on the screen. And in that virtual resolution, you can arrange your windows and put them somewhere else. Yeah, there is a feature here that will make it possible to manage your interaction with the game world much in the same way, if not even in the same way as such. And I would like to call this feature SpaceTime, which is quite cool. And SpaceTime is effectively virtual desktops for the Reason engine and for Orion's Gate. Yeah, I've been doing some research, and my engine is currently the only engine that does this. And SpaceTime is something really cool. So the key shortcut for this is F10. Yeah. So if you ready? Watch this for shizzle. F10. Okay, here we go. Boop. We have 4 desktops here at which we can arrange windows in any way we like. We can drag a window and put it somewhere else, like this. See. Desktop 2, 3, and 4. Now I can put this here. Okay, desktop 2, F10, and I want to put window 4 maybe here. Okay, and I want to put Windows 6 maybe on desktop 4, like this. And also all these things work. It's all live. It's all live. So I could close this window if I wanted to. So if I say window 3 and no, I don't need this anymore. Bloop. I can close windows like that live, and I can move them here. And now we're here. But I mean that's already cool. But how do I get there? Like this? Like, you know, like if there are windows on the different space, it will just move there automatically. You don't have to do much like this. And there's another shortcut for this if you want to manually move spaces in space-time, and it's called F7 is previous space and F8 is next space. Yeah, so if I press F8, boop, see, boop, F7 back, F8 forward, boop, boop. See that little animation there? It's kind of cool, huh? Bloop, 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 bloop. See, and that's yeah, so that's pretty much the UI in the moment. That is my current level of technology for the Reason Engine and the user interface. That's revealed, that's SpaceTime, that's Yui. And that is the Reason Engine as it stands right now. I hope this is interesting to you. Um, Please leave constructive feedback regarding this. And that's it. I hope you liked it. And like I said, the Reason Engine is going to be commercially available, and there's also going to be a free version. Yeah, so that's it. I'll see you later, guys. Have fun.